1-866-509-LARS. 1-866-509-5277.
I am your father.
Now, more of Lars.
Welcome back to the program. 35 minutes after the hour. Lots of things to consider going on in the world today, and your input is welcome as well. 866-509-5277. Send emails to talk@LarsLarson.com, and join me in welcoming Philip Berg, who is the attorney who's filed a rather famous lawsuit against Barack Obama, challenging Senator Obama's lack of qualifications to serve as President of the United States. Mr. Berg, good to have you on the program.
My pleasure.
People should know a little bit about your background, so give us a sketch of the jobs you used to hold as a deputy U.S. attorney, right?
Right. I was not U.S. I was a deputy attorney general of Pennsylvania. Also, I got to throw in right at the beginning, I'm still a active member of the Barron Hill Volunteer Fire Company. This is my 26th year with the fire police.
That's good.
Politically, I have been a Democrat all my life, and people are shocked, how can a Democrat take on Obama? But there's nothing more important than our Constitution. I was a committee person for 31 years, chairman of the Democratic Party, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, member of Democratic State Committee for 8 years, a Democratic candidate in the primaries for governor and United States Senate in Pennsylvania.
And you're licensed to practice law in Pennsylvania, I think also before the U.S. Supreme Court, right?
That's correct.
All right. So let's get to this, because I have had people calling me about this suit for some time. You filed it back in August, but even before then, I think as far back as January on this program, we were raising questions about whether or not Barack Obama is in fact a natural-born citizen as required by the U.S. Constitution to run for President of the United States.
That's correct. For your listeners, there's only 3 requirements. One, you be 35 years of age, he is. You've lived in this country for 14 years, he has. And the other being natural born. And you're right, it's very significant that it's been around for a long time, and you discussed it in January. Significant is the date of June 2008, because in June of 2008, on the Obama campaign website, they placed, not you, not me, the Obama people placed a certification of live birth indicating that Obama was born in Hawaii. The document has been examined by experts, and the document has been changed. It's a fraud. It's a forgery.
How do you know that? People are going to immediately, and then we'll get to the lawsuit, but how do you know that it's a forgery?
Well, with what we have today, it's a new world today with the Internet, because you can actually take a document, actually lift it off of what is being shown, and dissect it and look it apart. If you look at it close, you can even see the name under Barack Obama. You can see the name Maya, M-A-Y-A, which is his stepsister's name. So it has been determined. At the very bottom it says if there's any alteration, this document is not valid. But significant is the fact a certification of live birth is supposed to have all the same information that a birth certificate has, although less. But in this indication, it doesn't have it, because here, if any of your listeners needed a birth certificate tomorrow, to get a passport you need a birth certificate. A gentleman called me last week, and he said for 40 years he carried a certification of live birth in his wallet, and he went to use it for a passport. They would not accept it. Also, for Little League, someone tried to use a certification of live birth, would not accept it. They had to get the birth certificate. If any of us didn't have our birth certificate and needed it, you could get one within 2, 3, 4 days through the vital statistics in your state. And a U.S. Senator could probably get it probably in about a half a day, or give him 2 days to get it. It's obvious that he doesn't have it because he hasn't produced it, and therefore, and I really believe that. Aside from the other evidence we have, but we have. The evidence keeps pouring in, and we keep getting more and more. And because Obama delayed in sending us his birth certificate, and I wouldn't trust him unless I got a certified copy from the source to the judge and the court, we did investigation, and we discovered that he went to Indonesia. Now, in his book, Obama states, my stepfather, his mother and father divorced. His mother remarried a Lolo Soturo here in the United States. And Obama says, my stepfather went back to Indonesia before I did. My mother and I went. When we went, I immediately started school. He attended school for 4 years over in Indonesia. Now, Indonesia was going through all kinds of troubles back in the 60s. No one could go to school at that time unless they were a natural citizen of Indonesia. So for that to accomplish with Barack Obama, he would have had to either been adopted or acknowledged. And there's something been circulating on the Internet for the past few days about a conversation that Michelle Obama supposedly had with the African Free Press, or African Press International. There's a question about that whole thing at this point. It's not been verified. However, it doesn't matter. He was either adopted or he was acknowledged. And what supports that is a copy of his school record, which we have on our website, ObamaCrimes.com, which, by the way, has been up for 8 weeks, and we have over 50 million hits. It's really amazing. Excuse me. But on there, the school record says name Barry Soetoro. Interesting. His name's not Barack Obama over there. It's Barry Soetoro. It says nationality Indonesia, and then it says religion Islam. When he left Indonesia to go back to the United States because his mother sent him back at age 10 to live with her parents, one of two things occurred. He either went through immigration. If he did,
and was naturalized.
He could, yes. At that point, he'd been naturalized, and perhaps that's why he hasn't produced that document. Hopefully, he went through immigration.
But because a naturalized citizen cannot run for president.
Correct.
Right? I mean, for instance, and just so you know, my dog in the fight, I was born in Taiwan because my parents were in the military. I was born on an American military base to two American parents who came back to the United States a year and a half after I was born, but I was naturalized. I have a birth or I have a passport that shows me as a naturalized citizen of the United States.
Really? I thought you should be natural born with two parents from the United States.
I would think so too, but I was born outside the country. Well, so, and I think the laws that later clarified how you treat people serving in the military came later. But in any case,
they go back and forth on that. Yeah. There's been changes with it. And if he didn't go through immigration, which is a possibility, then because his mother at that point, here she is. He's 10 years old, and this is the second person she's married to, and who knows? And she sent the child back to live with her parents in Hawaii.
Right.
If he didn't go through immigration, which is a possibility, because he might have, we don't know how
things
he got
were pretty
into
loose
Indonesia.
back there, right?
What's that?
Things were pretty loose about that time.
Well, but if he didn't go through immigration, he today would be an illegal alien, and if that's his status, he couldn't even hold his seat for United States Senator from Illinois, and, of course, not run for president. And at that point, he should really be arrested, tried, and deported. So he's got a lot of explaining to do, but there's no way he is a natural-born citizen at this time.
I'm talking to Philip Berg, who's the attorney who's filed suit in Philadelphia. This is currently before the federal courts in Philadelphia?
That's correct.
All right. And the lawsuit, we've got the suit number and all the rest of that. Is any of this likely to get resolved before November 4th?
Absolutely. And today, I filed with the court, and I don't know if you saw it yet, it's on our website, I found admissions today. What happens in the court system, there's discovery, and the discovery includes taking depositions, interrogatories, requests for production of documents, and also requests for admissions. Requests for admissions are a very specific item. They must be responded to by answer or objection within 30 days. They didn't do that. Now, they're going to try to hide behind the fact that they filed a motion for a protective order. I filed an opposition to that, and the judge hasn't ruled on that, as he hasn't ruled on other things, which means now 30 days passed last Wednesday. So today we filed that the admissions are now admitted, and it's on our website, all the things that have been admitted, not because they said so, but because they didn't deny or object to them. And they include the fact that Obama now, by admission, says he's from Kenya, he's a citizen of Indonesia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The DNC did not vet him. It's all on our website there. It's very significant. The whole pendulum switches our way at this point.
We got to go to break in a moment. I want you to stick around, but here's one thing I want you to present to people, because I've heard you and I make a similar kind of argument on a lot of different issues. This, for the campaign, could be a nasty little, burr under your saddle, which they could resolve by simply saying, here's his passport, here's his birth certificate, here's the proof of who he claims to be, a natural-born American citizen who has the right to be not only a senator but also president. And this would have taken, his lawyers or his aides, as you say, a couple of days at most to dig up. And yet, for some reason, he's decided to let this issue sit out here and fester instead of getting rid of it as one more thing that clears a hurdle to him being president. And I guess the logical question is, why would he let it sit out there and linger if he could resolve it quickly?
Because he doesn't have the documentation. I really believe that I am correct. I'm sorry I'm correct here, because, I would like to find out that I was wrong and he had it. But if he had the documentation, we would have seen it by now. On the day after I filed my suit back in August, a spokesperson would have came out, not acknowledging me, just saying there's some lawyer out there, he filed this lawsuit against Obama, If he doesn't withdraw within 24 hours, we're going to sue him for millions of dollars for defamation. And by the way, here's a copy of Obama's birth certificate. But they didn't do that. And the reason they didn't do it, now it's 8 weeks later they didn't do it, they don't have documentation. They're either going to show a certification of citizenship, which